It's been so long. In Adrienette Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction, Part 30. Admittedly, Alia had no idea what she was doing. Everything felt like it had been glossed over with a thick paint. Her body was moving with little instruction from her mind. Her mouth was speaking words that she didn't even think about. It was like living in a daze. She didn't really know where she was and where she was going, and most concerningly of all, she didn't care that she didn't know. It all felt like a weird dream. Perhaps this was what it was like being hypnotized. At least, it was like that up until at once it was all clear again. Where did I get here? When did I get here? She muttered to herself. She could have sworn that she was in bio. Now she was suddenly in math class? What had passed in the time of haze? She looked to her right and noticed with a jolt that she was not sitting in her regular seat. There wasn't an empty chair next to her where Marinette should have been at. No, instead she was sitting with Lila in and at her desk up in the back row. Alia looked around perplexed. No one was reacting. Why was no one reacting? And that was when she noticed some more confusing but pressing changes. Chloe was gone. She wasn't draping herself around Adrien. Rose and Julika weren't exchanging hushed, excited chatter, and most strangely of all, Adrien and Nino were sitting in front of her, and Adrien was leaning back in his chair. He never did that. His father had always ensured that he sat formally and professionally, apparently. He never sat so spread out and casual. What was happening? All right, you may do the worksheet in pairs or small groups, the teacher announced. Alia looked down at the sheet in front of her. It was a quarter done, but she did not remember doing it consciously. Apparently, dreaming hazy Alia was smarter than conscious Alia because, well, all the problems were done correctly. Do you all want to work together? Adrien asked, making Alia come out of her confusion. Nino and Lila agreed enthusiastically. Now that was a whole different stack of confusion. Adrien didn't really like Lila. Well, that was kind of an understatement and kind of really obvious. He had always been on Marinette's side of things, which she should have been too. Alia felt like a terrible friend. Sure, Lila chirped. Then Adrien leaned over and kissed Lila on the cheek, and what the heck? Alia gasped and was narrowly able to suppress the cry of surprise. When did this happen? And why was everyone treating it like it was totally normal? Nino didn't even bat an eye. Alia, are you okay? Lila asked her with worry in her expression. Alia bit her lip and nodded. Oh yeah, I'm all good. I'm just gonna head to the washroom, she said, putting her pencil down, grabbing her bag, and quickly escaping the room to get a hold of her mind. It was spinning from the influx of new and very surprising information. Luckily, no one was in the stalls, and it gave Alia a minute to breathe. What is going on? She said to the empty air. Alia pulled out her phone. There were a lot of new updates on her socials. People were crying and disappointed and confused, and Adrien and Lila were dating? What the? She let out a curse. When did this happen? Alia said frantically. Her eyes darted around the screen. Okay, it clearly wasn't some weird rumor. It was just a real-life, unreal dream. It had to be real considering what she had just witnessed. It must have started the day before, or something, because Alia knew for a fact that Adrien didn't even want to talk to Lila before she was in this weird haze thing. And now, to be honest, she was, disturbed. Alia swiped to her DMs to send a text to Marinette, only to find that Marinette had sent 4 long paragraph-like texts to her, and Alia had apparently opened them during the haze and just didn't respond. She wrinkled her brows at her phone. Nothing was correct. Nothing was adding up. And I understand if you're so mad at me, but I don't want to just leave us like this. I don't want to be in a fight with you over some other person. If there's any way I can fix it, I will try my best. Wow, Alia said. The texts were sent yesterday, and clearly she had seen them, as Instagram told her, but so why did she remember seeing them? Alia clicked off her phone. There was some new information she just learned and was reeling from. I'll go to their house during lunch. We have got to figure stuff out, she muttered, pushing the bathroom door open and putting on a mask of calmness. Alia, are you doing okay? Lila asked, the moment she sat down. Alia nodded and smiled quickly. Her eyes floated to her usual spot in the front. You know, it's so much quieter now. I feel like I can actually focus. It's so nice. Marinette should have left a long time ago, Lila chattered. Alia's eyes went wide. What did Alia just say? Adrien and Nino didn't even seem fazed, nor did anyone in the room. So, okay, why was it just her freaking out? Idly, Alia wondered if this was how Marinette felt. Always being the only one to see whatever was wrong, but no one believing her or realizing the same. God, Alia was not a very good friend. Are you sure you're okay? You look like you've seen a ghost, Lila asked her. Alia held her breath, thinking of an excuse. I'm just really confused, she admitted. Lila nodded, seemingly understanding. It's okay. I don't really understand the problems either. Don't worry about it, Lila said, patting her on the shoulder. Mm-hmm, Alia agreed skeptically. Inside, she was freaking out. Okay, so Lila didn't like Marinette like she'd always claimed to. She didn't want Marinette around, which admittedly would be less incriminating if she hadn't told Alia about how much she loves Marinette as a person 1,000 times over. Lila could have just said, I don't want to be around Marinette because she keeps picking fights with me, and I just don't like her. But instead, she chose to lie about it. And the tone she used was so mean and relieved and happy. Nothing was going as they should. She really needed to do a check-in with Marinette during lunch. There was a lot happening that really should not have been happening. And that statement was becoming more and more true as she spoke with Marinette's parents. Yes, she was lovely, Sabine said with a smile. Alia nearly choked. Why had Lila gone to Marinette's house, pretending to be a good friend? That was a whole different level of just craziness and creepiness and stalkeriness and all of the above. I was so surprised when you didn't come, but Lila had mentioned you were busy, Tom continued. Alia nodded slowly. Oh, yes, I was, she said unsurely, as she was in reality. Alia had no idea what she had done the day before. She had no idea what time she'd gone home, if she had gone home, if she had tucked the twins in, or if she hadn't. I'm gonna go up and check on her. I'm sure she's lonely, Alia said awkwardly. Marinette's parents gave her pleasant smiles but didn't say anything else. They just watched her open the trap door with silent expressions. It was mildly discomforting. Mari! Alia cried, pulling herself into the room. Marinette gasped and ran up to crush her in a hug. Alia, I'm so sorry, she said immediately. Alia shook her head. No, girl, you are all okay. I'm not mad at you. Really, Alia said, hugging her best friend tight. It felt way more natural than hugging Lila. Hugging Lila was like hugging a boa constrictor. It was a tight hug, but to a very strange degree. Okay, I do have a bit of news for you, and it's all a bit shocking. Did you see Adrien's post? Yeah, it was weirder in person. He kissed her on the cheek. I kind of wanted to die. I hate that. But no, really, I have more pressing issues, Alia said, making herself comfortable on Marinette's bed. Lila came to your house yesterday. Your parents let her in. Alia said in a serious voice. Marinette gasped. They did? She did? Alia nodded and gave her a sympathetic smile. It was one thing to know that Lila came into her friend's house. It was another to know that Lila went to Marinette's house. Marinette was probably feeling very freaked out at the moment, and Alia certainly didn't blame her. They said that she gave the work to you and then went home. I don't think she's trustworthy. And I don't think your parents realize it, Alia said, and thought for a moment. Did you go up on the balcony? Alia said, because clearly Marinette was surprised, so she wasn't in the room when Alia was there, which was even more creepiness layered atop. Marinette bit her lip. Yeah, she said. The brunette nodded. She probably came during then, since you didn't see her. Her brown eyes floated around the room. I wouldn't say that it's far-fetched to believe that she stayed in your room while you're up on the balcony or something, she admitted. Marinette nearly gave out a sob. Finally! You get it! She cried. Alia nodded. Yeah, sorry for literally never believing you. God, I'm so dumb. Alia buried her face in her hands. Marinette pried her hands off her face, giving her a soft smile, and forgiveness was in her eyes. It's okay. We trust people that we shouldn't, she said kindly. Alia sighed defeatedly. I wish I didn't, the brunette muttered. I get that. They were silent for a second. Have you seen Lila's phone? Alia shook her head. No. Why? Marinette bit her lip. I think there's something weird going on with it, she said. Alia's eyebrows raised. Really? When did you see it? She asked. Well, there, like a video. I saw a video on Instagram, but like, it's a different color from what I remember. When you get back to school, go take a look, Marinette said. Alia nodded her head fervently. Okay, I will. They were cut off by knocking on the trap door. Alia sent a look to Marinette to ask, is it your parents? Marinette shrugged. I have no idea, she replied. They walked over and Marinette opened up the door to find Adrien. Adrien, what are you doing here? Marinette asked in bewilderment. Adrien clambered into the room ungracefully, which was unlike him. Sorry to rush in, he said with a shy smile. No, you're fine. Just, why though? Why are you here? And how are you here? Marinette said, brushing off his concern. Alia looked at Marinette with worry. And are your parents letting everyone in? That's literally not safe. Who else is gonna come through your trapdoor? Marinette shrugged. It's all weird now. I wouldn't be surprised if some random person came. Chloe even, she said. Guys, Adrien said, wringing his hands nervously. Lila's akumatized. Alia gasped, and Marinette looked at him with a strange look. That's why your phone looks different, Marinette muttered to herself. Adrien nodded enthusiastically. Yeah. She doesn't look akumatized, but she is. I don't know what she did to everyone, but things are totally different, and up until an hour ago, I felt like I was walking around in a dream. I couldn't make my body do anything or say anything. It moved on its own, like someone was commanding it, or I was someone else, Adrien explained. Alia shook her finger aggressively. Same here. I woke up in the middle of math, wondering how I got there. It felt like someone else was telling me what to do the whole time, she cried. Okay. It's good we know that, but what can we do? Marinette asked. Alia bit her lip. Marinette had a point. They weren't Ladybug and Chat Noir or Reina Rouge. Adrien and Marinette weren't superheroes, that was for sure. And she didn't have her fox Miraculous. None of them had a connection to either of the full-time superheroes either. I think we need to find a way to tell Ladybug, Alia said. Marinette nodded. I think I have an idea, but I can't tell you yet, Marinette said. Alia and Adrien nodded. Okay. We have to leave soon though. Class is about to begin again, Alia said, looking at the clock. Marinette motioned for them to go back to school. I'll get it all figured out. I promise. Alia gave her a hug. Good luck. She was definitely gonna need it.